Pruning blades for your reciprocating saw. Yes, you can prune trees with a reciprocating saw, and there's a blade made especially for it. I'm going to compare 3 different brands and how well they perform and what I think of them. Coming up. Hi, I'm Roger. Welcome to the shop. And what I'm going to be doing here is comparing 3 different brands of pruning blades that you can use in your reciprocating saw. A lot of people call this a Sawzall. And I do have a Milwaukee Sawzall. It's corded. But the Sawzall name kind of became generic, like Kleenex or Band-Aid or Q-Tip or any of those type of things where we take an actual brand name and it becomes generic for anything that is the same or resembles it. This here is an 18-volt DeWalt. I also have a 20-volt compact edition that I'm going to be doing some testing on. I just did a recent video on it. I want to talk about here the 3 different brands of blades that I have here. They all have 5 teeth per inch, and I'm going to be comparing the Porter Cable, the Performax, which is a Menards brand, and the Milwaukee Sawzall brand. It's not exactly apples to apples because the Milwaukee blade is a 12-inch, whereas the Performax and the Porter Cable are 9-inch. Now, just because this is 12-inch doesn't mean you can go cut down a 12-inch tree. That's not what they're designed for. This is designed for light pruning, maybe up to 3-inch. You can push it to 4-inch, but then you're really putting the saw into a struggle. You get up to that size, you need a chainsaw, whether it be electric or gas. And we're doing a lot of brush and tree clearing from volunteer trees that came up in fence rows with wire grown through them. It's been a mess. But what I have found is the Milwaukee blade, which is more expensive, of course it is a little bit longer, it does perform better. The Performax blade is the cheapest of the 3, and while it does okay, it does not last as long as the Porter Cable blade. As you can see here, I've done a whole lot of this in the last couple days and wearing out blades. Yeah, granted, some of them I'll be cutting through the tree, and this one here in particular was cutting through a volunteer tree that had grown up through a fence, and I thought I was above where the fence wire had grown into the tree, but I wasn't, so it caught and yanked a couple teeth out of it. And that'll dull it in a hurry. I've got one here, 2 here. This is a great way to get a tree stump out, but by golly, you'll go through blades. You get down, dig around the tree, and you can cut the roots off down there below grade and then backfill. But one thing that'll dull a blade in a hurry is dirt. The same thing goes with a chainsaw. If any of you people out there have used a chainsaw, you get that chainsaw into the dirt, that chain will dull in a hurry because dirt is abrasive. And if it's sandy soil, like where I've been working here, that's even more so. These blades have, with the exception of the Milwaukee blade, and I'll try to get something up close here. As you can see here, they have a rounded tip. Now the Milwaukee blade does not. It has a very square tip on the end here. And what I found with this is, it's very easy to break this off. If you bump something, hit something, let's say you're cutting up close to a basement foundation, and you bump the end of the blade against the concrete, those first 2 teeth will break off. Not that you use them anyway, but I think a better design would have been to make it pointed like either the Performax or the Porter Cable blade. So that's my review of these 3 different brands of blades made for pruning using your reciprocating saw. I find they work quite well. There's a lot of times you don't need to get out the chainsaw and gas it up and fill the oil reservoir and everything. It's just some little quick jobs, or maybe you've got a branch that every time you're riding lawnmower through, it smacks you in the face, but it's a little bit too big for those hand pruners. And if you have a reciprocating saw, this is the way to go. As I said, the Performax blades are the cheapest. They do work, but they don't last as long as the Porter Cables. And as far as longevity goes, the Milwaukee has the edge right there. other than I really don't like the tip design on this. But that's my review of these. Other companies make these too, I just don't have them. I have also seen them at Harbor Freight, but I tend to shy away from Harbor Freight blades because, and drill bits, because historically, they're just junk. There's a lot better things out there for pretty much the same price. So if you see these at Harbor Freight, I'd kind of shy away from them. Well, with that said, hope you got something out of this. And if you did, appreciate getting a thumbs up. That always helps the channel. And we're always looking for subscribers, and next to that subscribe button's a little bell. You click that bell, you'll be notified when we post another video. Otherwise, I'm Roger in the shop. A little bit of a reciprocating saw pruning blade review. See you on the next one.